Hello, my name is Kevin. This is Wine Me Up. Wine Me Up! Welcome to Wine Me Up, episode 1. This is going to be my new YouTube channel where I'm just going to, casually talk about wine because it's one of my big interests in wine. I've got a WSET level 3 which I passed with distinction in April 2022. So I know a little bit about wine, but by no means a wine expert or anything like that. And basically I just want to talk about the wines I'm drinking, really, and see how it goes. So I'm going to take a wine each week, talk about that wine, where it comes from, and give it a tasting note on the wine as well, and tell you whether or not I will buy the wine again, the prices, etc. stuff. So without further ado, let's get on with it. Episode 1. Episode 1, Brunello di Montalcino. So some fine examples of the Brunellos I have in my cellar. I think this is my recently acquired Constante. So I'm really looking forward to that. I'm probably have to give it about 10 years. That's like probably the most expensive bottle of wine I've ever bought. But I'm really into Brunellos this year. I love Sangiovese, I love Nebbiolo, I love all types of wine, but it's mainly those type of high tannin, high acidic wines that I like, go really well with food and steaks and stuff like that. That's really my thing. But anyway, the first wine is this one here, which is the Fornacina 2015 Brunello di Montalcino. So, Brunello di Montalcino. On the face of it, it's quite simple. It's Brunello di Montalcino is the one area, it uses one grape, which they call Brunello in the town of Montalcino. The grape Brunello is actually Sangiovese, and it has to be 100%. So it's easy peasy. Thing is though, the Brunello area is so varied in, compared to its elevation, the type of soils it's got. There are some places that are really closed in and really warm and they make darker colour wines. There's some places that are higher up, different soils, and they make lighter colour wines. So there are actually probably hundreds of different styles of Brunellos, so it's difficult. So even though it's like it's one grape, one area, it's easy, it's really not. They really should make subzones, and I think there are some noises going around they are actually going to do that, which would probably be a good idea. Probably make things more expensive though, I expect, but there you go. But yeah, so Brunello di Montalcino is 100% Sangiovese, and it has to be aged for at least 5 years. It could be released the 1st of January, 5 years after the vintage for an ordinary Brunello, or 6 years for a Reserva Brunello. And of that time it has to spend a minimum of 2 years in oak, which is really good for Sangiovese, because Sangiovese is a very tannic grape. So the fact that it's in oak and the air is coming through the pores of the oak sort of rounds off the edges of the tannins and gives the wine time to settle down and be a good wine. It's very high acidity as well for that. The high acidity and the high tannins also makes it possible for the wine to be kept a very long time. And you do really need to wait a while to open a Brunello. Some of the vintages you can drink reasonably early, but a lot of them, like 16s and 19s for example, if it's from a great producer like that one as well, but when this one you're going to have to keep these like 10 years so the whole stuff can kind of settle down a bit. But the 2015 vintage is a vintage that is brilliant because you can drink it relatively soon after release, and you can keep it a while as well. 2015, and this is kind of in the sweet spot for this wine. So the Fornacina comes from Castelnuovo dell'Abate, I think that's how you say it. Now this is one of the, in fact I think it is the warmest area in the Brunello area. It's very warm there. It's reasonably low lying, and it's sort of, there's mountains sort of holding the heat in, if you like, on this wine. I mean, it is warm anyway. This is the southernmost part of Tuscany, so it's the warmest part of Tuscany compared to its northern neighbour in Chianti, which is obviously, it's Tuscany, it's still warm, but it's higher elevation and it's higher up in the latitude, so it is slightly cooler there, which is why, generally speaking, generally speaking. There's always wines that, you know, prove a different point. But generally speaking, the wines be a bit more structured, a bit more full-bodied, a little bit more power in a Brunello compared to a Chianti. But anyway, we're doing Chianti Nove. We're definitely doing Chianti Nove. I love Chianti. So this one, and because of that as well, the colour of this was actually quite deep. Anyway, it was really quite deep. Yes, the wines in the north are a little bit more altitude, and you've got a little bit more of the Galastro soils, which are very famous Tuscan soils, also in the Chianti area, but they are very famous for Tuscany. And they give you like a paler wine, more aromatic wine. You know, it's more my cup of tea really. But this one is more. I think it's a little bit more clay in the soils down here, and it's lower elevation, and you know, darker in colour. Anyway, let's get on to the tasting note of this wine. So the Fornasina, I mean, look, you know, this is going to be low tech, so don't expect too much. This is a Vivino 4.4 with an average price of 379 kroner a bottle. This is, I'm filming from Denmark, by the way. I'm an Englishman living in Denmark. It's 4.4. And my review on this little beauty. So my review on this, I gave it 4.0. I'm not that great on scores, to be honest with you. 4.0 all the same. It was medium ruby, but the nose, wow. I've written here, and I remember it well now. It's beefy, teriyaki sauce, you know, that Japanese sort of slightly sweet soya sauce they use over there. Had loads and loads of tobacco as well on it. It's really tobacco heavy. And something I love about a good Sangiovese, a Brunello and a Nebbiolo is that balsamic note, really balsamic. So that mixture, the teriyaki sauce and the balsamic note, together with the tobacco, and there was leather and a Bordeaux-like cedar. I've written down here as well. Lots of cedar wood, had vanilla as well, of course, as well. So there was tertiary flavours, well up front as well, which is great. Tertiary flavours are a little bit in age of the wine. It's 9 years old now. Primary flavours, the fruit flavours, were both red and black fruits. There's black cherry, there's red cherry, red plum, cranberry, and a little bit of blackberry as well, mostly red fruits on this. It was medium plus acidity, as expected. With this type of wine, medium plus ripe, grainy tannins, lovely, lovely tannins. And the best thing about this wine as well was, and this is a common thread I think you get through all Montalcino's wines, I have to say, by the way, because you do get a lot of people don't really like them because they can be a little bit weedy, and some of them are, you know, like I said, they're so different, really show their own characteristics, but all of them have this thread going through them, and that is their savoury. Savoury, savoury, savoury. That's what I've written here. Savoury, savoury, savoury wine. The finish is a little bit overpowered with the tobacco, and there's earthy mushroom, and it's kind of like a caramel thing. That's like at the end of it, and I've written here quite cheaply, but I like it anyway. Yeah, anyway, it's a great wine, honestly. But anyway, would I buy this wine again for 400 krona a bottle is what it cost me? And the answer to that is most definitely. It's absolutely superb. In fact, it's superb. I've actually tried to get this as well, but I can't find it anywhere now, unfortunately. But it's really, really good wine. But hey, got lots of others to try. Anyway, here. Look, that's episode 1. Nice and rusty. I'm not going to be doing any editing and all this stuff, so, you know, you have to bear with me. And, yeah, you know, we'll see what happens for the next time. But anyway, that was episode 1 of one of my favourite wine areas at the moment, which is the Brunello di Montalcino. See you next time.